Hello everyone, welcome back to Yokai Temple. So today we're going to be kind of putting the Botania stuff slightly on the back burner. We'll be getting back to it very soon. But there's one thing that I've been really wanting to do for like a while, and we kind of have to detour slightly into Farmcraft for it. But for that, first I need to address something specifically regarding the bathhouse. So, if we look around Yokai, we've got quite the wonderful assortment of people. We've got Juzu, we've got Kranpeto, yes, I know I'm using their family names there. We've got Ichiro Shisai, we've got Shiji Yatama, Kaori Yatama, we've got the Hayashi siblings, and, like, Akane as well. We've got Hayabusa Kiyoshi, we've got a whole ton of people. I don't know why Satomi's having such issues getting food. There's plenty of food around. But suffice it to say, we have a number of villagers who do not fit into the standard gender binary that, like, everyone gets taught in school and really probably should have been updated years ago. But the bathhouse, as we saw last time, was designed with a male and a female section. I've just indicated those in reverse, but yeah. And there's a reason for this. The reason is that the development of gender equality, or I should rather say sexual equality, throughout the course of Japanese history is kind of a fluxy kind of thing. It kind of fluctuates over time. So, early on, Shinto was actually pretty good about it, especially since that the prime, deity inside of Shinto happens to be Amaterasu, the female sun god. Then samurai culture, that thing that we all know and most love, kind of got into things, and it started to kind of erode what might otherwise be called progress. And then, more or less by the time of the Tokugawa shogunate, I want to say it was around the 16th century, but I'm probably wrong because my memory is kind of rubbish. It had degraded to the point that, basically women were little more than property. And with that kind of scenario, you can imagine that equality for non-binaries was pretty much completely non-existent. Even in terms of, portraying women and such inside of the theatre and such. No theatre, for example, it was pretty much entirely men. So I am going to put up a kind of sign in here just to indicate something which I think probably needs to be stated quite clearly. I might do a whole lying says, or lying talks, later on, just to talk about this whole issue of, gender and sexuality and all sorts. But, anyways, this structure was built in accordance with thematic standards. It does not, and I wish I could underline that, it does not represent modern or, what's the phrase I want here? Modern standards, yes. Modern or equal, let's go. Equal standards with regards to gender and sex equality. There we go. So just to let people know, I don't endorse, separating people by physical sex. I don't really endorse separating people, period. The fewer barriers between people, living together and whatnot, the better. But I just wanted to make it very clear that this structure is built this way because of our thematic, not because I endorse this, not because this is the way that things should be, and certainly that seems to be the way they've been for quite too long indeed. But with that slightly depressing thing covered, we're moving on to Farmcraft. So, first I need to make a basic wand, and fortunately we have plenty of supplies for making books. We should have quite a bit of leather around, I think. Yeah, 13,000 leather. Fun how the most, massively numerous things that we own around here happen to be the things that we're farming. Okay, So, to make a basic wand, let's see, we want Farmcraft. It is going to be an iron-studded one, so let's grab some iron. There we go. So this is just like the first thing that you make. I think I need to make it out of... Yeah, there we go. There we go, okay. The first thing that you make, and it's very cheap, doesn't really do all that much, just when you have like a massive capacity inside of it. It's just there because it's the first like thing you need, and I highly doubt it's a stick, but... Oh no, it is a stick. Iron cap wouldn't want. Okay. So, now I need a bookcase, which naturally I have not ever crafted before. Strange that. So let's grab that, gets us up to the nice that. Let me just dump these materials. Right, so this is just sort of like the early step of Farmcraft, the things that probably you've seen 1,000 times before, but we kind of just need to get into it so that I can get into the actual like thing that we're looking for. Also, yeah, I've in my little like spirit box where I'm making many a thing, I have now made essence shards so I can grow all the shards I need, because it actually turned out that I hadn't found many of them. Like, I hadn't like harvested many of them from the ground for some reason, so I had to go out and specially harvest them. What am I looking for? I'm looking for liver. So blip, grab a stack of that. That's gonna be way more than I need, which is fine. And let's grab ourselves some sugarcane, because we are not presently even, like, much at all using all the stuff that we're actually getting from that sugarcane farm. Although the power is staying pretty stable. I still have to deal with the occasional, like, pathing issue, but that's not a huge concern, I'd say. Okay, put that there. I just noticed, of course, there is leather and the paper and the sugar canes that I need in here already, but oh well. Always the way. Get that there. So yes, let me see, what else has been going on meanwhile? Well, Oddworld started up, and to pretty decent reaction, actually. I'm slightly surprised at how well it's doing. Whoop. I feel like doing, like, what is it, Hermitcraft did a UHC recently, where you got achievements in-game to get, like, bonuses. I feel like if we did that with that in play, that wouldn't work out too well. There we go. Farmonomicon. So, what I'm looking for is Automagy, and there's a bunch of stuff in here that you can do, but it basically focuses around using, redstone. And what I'm looking for is this thing here. So first, I need to make some scribing tools and some other stuff to actually, like, deal with getting it. Which means I need a research table, I need scribing tools, that kind of thing. So, let's see, research, exploration, yes, with a thermometer. Reasons that I had to go and grab the thing. So, I need a glass file, which is clay and glass. Okay, I'm gonna get this set up, and I will be back momentarily. So, quick little bit of a time lapse. Right, so, upon my person having sorted out, hopefully sat on me there, I have a table, a set of scribing tools, and a thermometer. So, if you haven't seen, like, the 500 million different people playing Farmcraft, here's what happens. So, against 2 of these, we use our scribing tools, and that gets us a research table. And against another one, we use our wand, and that gets us an arcane work table, which naturally takes our wand, which I might need in a minute, which I also need to charge, but to charge it, we need to use nodes. I believe that there's one around here somewhere. Pretty sure there is. No longer quite certain. But I'm also fairly certain that there is actually one around Yokai Village. If not, I can find one later. Okay, so we need to grab some paper, because of course that's the thing I forgot to grab. Oh. Yeah, also I've been really, like, having to play around a lot with the pathfinding for these guys. There's so much, and for the love... For example, this is a fantastic example. Thank you, Katashi, for showing this off. Katashi, like, whenever they're not doing anything, they wander. And they will wander everywhere. Like, not within a certain radius of their work area, not within a certain radius of their home. They will go far and wide. Which is slightly irritating. Okay, let me just get a bunch. I'm not going to need that much, but I'll take it. Right. Now, there's a bunch of different upgrades you can get for this. There's a bunch of researches that will improve your researching ability. We're not going to be getting those just today, at the very least, purely because there's only 2 things that I need in this right now, so I don't need to pay much attention with it. Okay, so that and that. And nice little model change. There is no longer a little thing there, so Automagy. Click it to get research note. Right. So, now I have a research note for red crystal. And it's telling me I've run out of ink because I haven't got that in there. Okay, so, I have no idea what any of these are. Now, the reason that I don't have any idea what these are is that I haven't discovered the elements they have. All I have is the raw elements of the world. Now, I can expand that by scanning things around, and since I don't have the... I need to understand... to understand this, you need to study the sources of light. You can just see that in my bottom right there. And I can't understand a bunch of stuff, but if I just run around, basically, very gradually... Oh, I have discovered Lux. Perfect example. And I don't have Metallum yet, so I can't study these, I don't think. Yeah. But there's a bunch of stuff I can't... a bunch of stuff that I can't scan, a bunch of stuff I don't understand, that kind of thing. And the 2 ways that you can unlock those is to go around scanning a whole bunch of stuff, or you can do it the much easier way. For example, let's go with air and aqua, and that gets me Tempestas. So I've already discovered that, so that's one thing that is now added to my list. So I'm going to go through here and try and get as many things as I can to sort of work out what is going on, what kind of stuff I need. And once you've actually, like, figured out the combination, if you go to your Farmcraft into the basic informations, aspects of magic, it tells you what you need to make these things. Some of these are primals, so that means you cannot make them. And if you hover over them, they also tell you where you have found them. So Preditio I found in Cobblestone and my Apothecary, for example. Same with Terra. So, using that combination, you can then go in here and you can make them up again if you happen to run out of them, because you can see I've only got 3 Motifs and Tempestas and Lux. But I can make more. Usually make them in, like, once, but yeah. Anyways, back while I work this out. Right, well that took quite a bit longer than I was expecting it to. Apparently getting Humanness is really, really a huge pain. But if you happen to find some zombie brains, it becomes quite a bit easier. And then you can just scan a zombie for it. And of course, once you've discovered it, you can actually, like, make this thing quite a bit. So, let's see, let's take a look at our Farmanomicon, which I can probably scan now, actually. Yep, there we go. Okay. So, the things that we are in need of for this particular research are... Machina, I believe it is? Do I have that in there? No, I don't, but I can make it right now. So, Machina is a combination of Instrumentum, which you get from a number of stuffs, but I'm mostly just going to use it as a component right now, and Motifs, which I need to craft a bit more of. So, Motifs is made from air and ordo. Very cheap. Okay. There is a research that lets you actually, like, see what these combinations are, but right now I don't have it. So, Instrumentum and Modus gets us Portfolio Machina. There we are. So that's all of them. Now, in order to actually move around in here, we need to place these like pieces here that are actually like one step away from the thing that we need to connect to. So every research has some solid elements. We have 4 here that we need to deal with. And this is where having a diagram of the different essentials really helps you, because it's really kind of hard to figure this out normally. So let me see. Potentia is made from Ignis and Ordo, and Praecantatio is made from Potentia. So if we grab ourselves a Potentia, which should be around... Where are you? There you are. And plonk it there. Then we can also take an Ignis and plonk it there. So you can see that line down the back of them makes it very easy to see that they have actually connected. And this is my usual technique for getting around here, is just bouncing back between things. So let's see, how do we get to Machina? Machina is made of Motus, which is parts with Ordo and Air, and Ordo is part of Potentia. So let's see, Ordo to there gets us connection to that one, and then we need to put Motus, which we are just out of it, but we can make some, and plonk that there. So that gets us around 3 of these. And now we just need to get to Vitreous, which is a little more difficult. What is that made of? Vitreous. Vitreous is made of Terra and Ordo, which means we can probably get to it most easily by going via Potentia. So let's see, let's plonk that there. So it does connect to Ordo. Good, very helpful. And then if we... Oh, hey, Zagalau. If we then use a Potentia, we should be able to get right through to this. There we go. So that has completed linked all of them, and now we have a red crystal. Definitely magic. Unlocked, right. So that gets us access to all these, and basically this just allows us to make redstone wire that can go up walls and such, among other things. But what we are most interested in is this. So I need paper, which I already have in my inventory, and I need my scrapping tools. Should make just like a second wandering around set for these. So, the remote comparator. Keeping an eye on things. So, let's see, what do we need for this one? Well, we have all of our pieces, thankfully, so now we just need to jump around to get to them. So, Machina, once again, we can just use our Motus to get that connected to Potentia. And Motus was air, we can... But Potentia isn't air, it's Ordo. That's what I'm looking for. Whoop. There we go. Okay, so, 2 pieces connected. Potentia to air, though. Air connects to a lot of things, and it connects to Ordo via the line of Motus. So if we make just a little bit more of this, then if we go there, and then if we stick an ordo, okay, that gets us connected. It's a little hard to see with some of these symbols, but that gets us connected all around to those. And this particular one is called Census, which is made of air and spiritus. Air is going to be the most logical thing for us to use here. So let's just make it really, really, really cheap and go via Lux. So there we go, that gets us the remote comparator, and this is the thing that I've spent like this whole episode looking for. So, the remote comparator allows us to have a comparator-like object around, which is fairly cheap to make, and it can monitor the inventories of basically a whole ton of things, more or less everything, provided it has a crystalline eye attached to it at a specific location. So I'm going to quickly run away, because this episode has been taking ages, and you don't need to see me fiddling around with this stuff forever. And that is what I'm going to use over here. So we can make the crystalline eye, we can shift right click it on this mana pool to link it, and then I can have a remote comparator over here saying, by a fairly simple comparator set you've probably seen a million times, if the mana pool is less than 2/3 full, then run the timer, and then this will automatically fill itself. So, yay. Let me see, where is my notepad? Hang on. I appear to have misplaced a notepad. Where's my clipboard? Help? Hilfer? I've lost my clipboard. Okay, that's a pain. Probably shoved it in a chest at some point, randomly. Oh well. Right. Well, that's most of what I was going to do today anyways. So, with that, I hope you've enjoyed this slightly hectic start into Farmcraft. There's a few more things in Farmcraft I want to check out as well. For example, my gear here is pretty helpful, but it's not exactly the most aesthetic. But getting the most aesthetic stuff requires that it actually have some kind of counterbalance for defense, so I might look into runic shielding. There's also the fortress armor in Farmcraft, which is built on a sort of Japanese kind of aesthetic. So I'll probably look into that as well, but for now, I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll catch you all next time.